Okay, I was gonna just kind of walk you guys around and show you some of the sort of features of this truck. It's pretty unique in some ways, so we'll just kind of walk around it, and I'll talk off the top of my head about some of the things it's got. Um, so first things first, the previous owner upgraded the headlights to these LEDs, which work well, and both the high and the low beam are functional. Those turn signals all work, as well as the hazards. So this truck also has blackout lights right here, and they work. So you can turn those on. They're really, really faint, so that I guess the military didn't want anybody to see them coming. So you can turn those on, and it just puts out a very faint light. So that's front and rear. It does have a step down here that folds down, so it makes it a little bit easier to climb up to the engine bay. Still pretty good hike up there. Just for reference, these tires are almost 4 feet tall, if I remember right. So it's kind of hard to get a sense of the scale of this thing. But it is a tall, big truck. Great for working under, not great for working on top of, but comes with the territory. So this bumper, I believe, was probably moved back. Normally they would stick out quite a bit. Some of them had a PTO driven winch, and that would have stuck out front. I think they probably have cut it and moved it back. I'm not positive about that. If they did a decent job. So it doesn't really look like, it's been hacked or anything in there. So it's a great look. I don't love the ones that stick out so much. And also when you're driving it, you certainly can't see that far up there. So that's that. It's got this hole. I assume maybe there was a light here at some point. I'm not positive what was there in its previous life. And of course you got big beefy shackles and all that good stuff. So it does have these kick out panels. And then the windshield also folds out. And that's your air conditioning. It does have heat, and the heat does work. But as far as AC, that's what you get. So it's got, on this side, a storage compartment. I keep wheel chocks in there. You certainly want to use those because there's no park. So you start it when it's in neutral, and then there's no park. So I always chalk it. The emergency brakes or e-brake in this is functional. Excuse me. But it's not great. It's under there. It might be, if you put some new shoes on it, it works. But on a hill, it's certainly, less than ideal. You can tighten it up right here and sort of adjust it that way. So when I got it, the power steering did not work, which made it pretty beastly to drive. So as with a lot of things, let me get a light here. On this truck, it's air driven. So there's that's essentially your power steering cylinder. It's a pretty simple system, so air in one side and air out the other side, and it just assists that front steering to go either way. I did bring that back into service. Works great now. You can upgrade them to hydraulic, but it's not cheap, so it's nice that this one works. Okay, what else? I think this bed is probably a military utility trailer bed. I'm not positive. I don't know that it's original. It doesn't really look like it's been cut or shortened. So that's what makes me think it came off maybe a utility trailer. The previous owners did put, let's see if I can get you up there. There is a gooseneck or a fifth wheel hitch under that cover. It's there. I've never used it. I honestly don't know how you would get a trailer up that high to connect to it. I guess if your trailer jacks were high enough, you could. But it does have one. Like I said, I've never used it. It has the glad hands back here for a trailer. But everything I have, just runs off of normal trailer brakes. Another nice thing about this tailgate is it folds either down and is held by the safety chains, or it will fold all the way flat. So that makes it really nice for loading stuff. You're not trying to reach over. Let's see, what else? There's your tail lights. All that good stuff. You got more heavy duty shackles back here. Fuel tanks over here. And it's also funny, you've got a basically power output. This truck is 24 volts, so you can unscrew this cap. If you have the adapter, you can actually, I think, jump other vehicles or even jump it. I've never used it. It's a special sort of fitting there. So just an interesting little tidbit. Batteries are in here. I keep a trickle charger on it. It is a 24 volt trickle charger. Whoever buys it, if they twist my arm hard enough, I'll let that go with it, because I don't have anything else that's 24 volts. So it's just kind of handy to have. And I did replace the batteries. They're in here, and this tray pulls out. I'm trying to think. I think I replaced them about a year and a half ago. I'd have to look at the dates exactly, but it does have new batteries in it. So you got that. Let's see. I'll show you kind of in the cab here. Give you that little tour. Again, kind of dark. I put a best top seat in it. It was the narrowest seat I could find from like a Jeep. There's not a lot of room in there, but it works. It's just barely not too big. It does have all the seat belts in it. I've got two boys, so that was kind of the goal of that, was to get seat belts in it, so they could ride along with me. I put new carpet in it, like a sort of marine carpet. And I did do a sort of Dynamat, or I think it's Killmat underlayment there. So sort of help with the sound and heat. I don't think it does a lot, but it is there. Also, we nicknamed this truck Big Perp, so I put that on the floor mats, just to have fun with it. The heater box and heater core up there, and you can see the heater core is back there. That's all new. The heater core, when I got it, was leaking really bad, so that was one of the first things I did. I'm trying to think what else. Windshield wipers work. They're controlled up there at top. So I'll take you around to the other side, kind of show you it. Real quick. So it's got these big Rockwell axles on it. One of the most common questions I get is are the drive shafts disconnected? Because if you look back here, that looks like there should be a drive shaft there. It also has that on the front. So that's a PTO, and especially on the front, they would normally, a lot of them had, like winches, or, they were used for fuel trucks, so pumps or whatever they would use them for. So those are just the PTOs. The driver's side here, we get a light. So the other interesting thing about this truck is all the electrical connections are waterproof. So technically you could ford water up to, I suppose, the air intake here. So as long as that is above the water, this thing is designed to run. I've never had it in water. I've actually never, really even taken it in the mud or anything like that. It's always just been, I've hauled stuff with it, lumber, all that good stuff, and sort of run around town. But technically they were designed to ford, I don't know how tall that is, but close to 6.5 feet of water. So it's got, from the factory, air horns on it, which are fun. They're not quite like a train horn, it's a dual horn, but it will wake you up for sure. I put in this air ride seat, so it's a Bostrom seat, runs off of air, it's air suspension. It's got a dump valve here to adjust it, and that made a world of difference as far as comfort and driving this truck. It's pretty stiff suspension, so it's a little rough going down the road, and that seat certainly helped on that. So let's see what else you got. So sort of ignition here. This is your master. Lost my light. So this, your master power. This is all your switches down here for your lights and your blackout lights, all that good stuff. They're not on whenever you turn the key on, so you gotta make sure and turn those on. There's all your gauges. So the truck's always ran great. Good oil pressure. Transmission, it doesn't run hot on the transmission or the engine, so it runs really pretty great. Let's see what else. All this has been repainted by the previous owner, and you can see that in certain spots. Like, I don't know if you can see that. It normally would have been that, sort of olive military green. The whole truck would have been that color, and you can still see evidence of that in places. So yeah, that's pretty much, the main things. If you got any more questions, feel free to just put them in the comments. I'll try to answer them as best I can. Hopefully it was helpful. Like I said, I'll get a driving video put together here for you guys. It's a great truck. I really am not excited about selling it. The only reason I'm selling it is I've got a car lift coming in that I need the space for, so I'm running out of room. Bringing a trailer has gotten a few dollars for me, and I've gotten a few vehicles, so yeah, I just need the space. I love the thing. It's any vehicle I've ever owned, this one certainly turns more heads than anything, as far as honks and waves and thumbs ups, and everywhere I go, if I park it, every time I come out, there's always somebody there wanting to talk about it and look in it and all that fun stuff. So really cool truck, and hate to see it go, but hopefully it'll go to a good home. So there it is.